Hey everybody, this is PD from the Spinner Rack, and today I'm going to do a video on some of the auctions that are going on the heritage auctions of original art. Always check to see what's on there, and they got some great pages. Now, people only talking about one page. I say there's more than that. So we're going to do a quick scan of heritage. I've done the search. It's on just, of course, only on one artist. And let's fix this. There we go. Okay, so we look here, we did a search for John Byrne, and we have some Star Brand pages. We have some Wonder Woman pages. We have an X-Men page, a classic X-Men page. Byrne, another Superman page by Byrne and Terry Elson, and another Star Brand page. Right, there's some old stuff that's not an auction. But auctions aren't happening just now, but you want to check in out and see. And I know ultimately people aren't really looking for all of the stuff that's here, but I noticed a page that I wanted. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it, but I was like, wow, that page is here. And then more stuff showed up. And I was just like, wait a second. And then on the different sites, obviously the Magneto page turned up, and it was like, oh, this is the page. And everyone's talking about it, and they're constantly talking about Terry Austin, that sort of thing. But ultimately, we're going to show you some more stuff about that, right? Let's see, where is it? Here it is. All right, so now I showed you the heritage page. It's just ha.com. But let's look at this classic page, right? Now this is a really amazing page. This is a page, I think at the time Byrne, when he was doing Fantastic Four, he was still pretty proud of this page. What was it? Inking is amazing. Terry Austin said since Magneto was in the darkness, he was thinking since he shouldn't be seen in light immediately, so he put a zip on this. Some people say Byrne hated when he used a zip. He did not hate when he used zips. He just, I think towards the period when he was doing the Hellfire Club, he wanted it to be a little more Colin Palmer inking, but he felt like it was a little, more like still Byrne and Austin, and Terry doing his effects. So basically, said 99% of the work Terry did with him, he worshipped the ground he walked on. But there's only a couple things that he might have had issue with. So this is, can I say this is a really classic page. Probably one of my favorites of Magneto, but I think the Hidden Years had a great Magneto page, a few of them. So, Byrne, you doing Magneto really can't be beat. So let's keep going through some of these pages because there's some tidbits. I'm not gonna, and we go, and this would be, I don't know. This is like that's 77. This might be like is it 9 years later? Yeah, maybe it's 9 years later. Byrne and Austin back together, right? Um, Terry Austin didn't ink this entire thing. He did all the figures. I guess it would be the faces too. The backgrounds are done by Keith Williams. So, and it's interesting. Terry Austin was initially a background inker for Jake Giordano. So, um, oh, so then Byrne has a notation that Lana has different clothing on. So she should look different in each one because it's a whole bunch of. This is facial recognition software used by who is it of by Lex Luthor back in the '80s, which is pretty cool, right? And so this is another great page to have. It's not Magneto, but it's a great page to have. Now, right now, I have a Starburn page. Now, this one is more of a layout by Byrne and a very loose layout because he didn't really have time to still do it Superman. But when Byrne was at DC, he did a lot of Reagan shots. So DC was kind of thinking about we should have Byrne do a Reagan comic book. He does Reagan so great. So at the same time, Byrne put Reagan in the what's the name to be the world outside our window. This was literally outside our window, right? And we're gonna see actually in these pages we're gonna see how things went left in Starbrand. We're gonna be able to see this, but there's a piece in one of these pages. Obviously, the Magneto page is gonna be expensive, so that's uh that's uh that's something that's going to cost you money no matter what. But there's a bit that I think that no one knows in one of these pages I'm going to show you. And if anyone can figure it out, it's Byrne talked about it, but no one's picked it up. So if something, becomes a huge success in the future and people want to see a cameo by this character or characters is in one of these pages, right? But I'm giving you the tidbits that everyone should know. Obviously, this is Starbrand with what's the name? And this is the page that I first saw. Now, when everyone was clamoring over the Magneto page, I was sinking in, thinking I might need to get this page here. Now, I have a scan of it now because they put scans up, but this would be a fun page to have. My favorite character in the book is Debbie the Duck. We have Ken Connell's psychiatrist, Myron. Now people say Byrne made Myron, his friend, mean to him because he was trying to get a shooter. And no, if you read the book, which no one has, they all lie. Well, not everyone. There's some people who have read it. But Myron was now playing mind games with Ken Connell in the shooter run. He was bringing his old girlfriends to focus groups. He was one of their last meetings in the shooter run. He was pretty mad, but actually, Myron is brought back into the book because of Debbie the Duck, because Ken is really down, and he starts to tell Debbie something that could be done. He craves adulation. And then she comes up with, even though she's an airhead, he should go public. And he says, exactly. And she goes public, but at the same time, they were in a honeymoon period and she was pregnant. So she goes to tell him, and this is why this page is also so great. She says, I wanted to tell Ken the news, but he was off playing hero all the time. So I finally managed to convince him to stay home in the evening, and I cooked him my best meal. And then Ken Connell says, best grilled cheese sandwiches in the world. I was like, I fell out. And the next page is even better. So it would be a good set, but I don't have that page. The next page here is the Byrne page. So at the same time, Byrne drawing himself into the book. and there's some bits. It's not the page where he's talking about the X-Men, but he's talking about their comic burned down on this page, and he's about to talk about his new project at Marvel, which he doesn't say. And then he said, plus my plan to do 100 issues of Super. And I think I might have read it at the time, but I forgot it was in there that he had said that joke in there. And they kind of give Starbrand the business, because Starbrand didn't read comic books, and they're trying to point out to him that his costume doesn't kind of adhere to what comic fans would do, and why they would not probably wear or dress up as a superhero, to become a crime fighter, right? So this is another good page, right? And it's not Terry Austin, but it's like, this is some fun stuff, right? And this is the penultimate page where Ken Connell finds out what the power is really like, and is trying to get rid of it. So he's trying to go far enough to kind of get rid of the power, because he doesn't like what it does to him. And the other thing is that Ken Connell in the what's his name was the smartest dumb guy. And we'll see, we go to the next page, he blows up Pittsburgh. Now, at the time, I didn't know that there was any beef between Shooter and Byrne, so I didn't really, did I? I did know that he did do a joke in What The, so I knew there was some issue, but at the same time, and I guess maybe I knew the legends, but I didn't know this book was Shooter's real life put into a comic book. So I didn't get that it was a dig at him, or this would be Destroying Pittsburgh would be F you to Shooter. But ultimately, Byrne and Mark Grunwald and the whole team was like, what would really let people know that something's going on in this book? And they decided Ken Connell would be the one, and Byrne would have him do something devastating to the world, right? So there you have Byrne, you have maybe the thing to Shooter. I'm giving away some bits here. So then we have a Wonder Woman page, and Wonder Woman having a lecture, many different people in it. Now, the importance of this is that had Byrne stayed on Wonder Woman, this would be the art team. Byrne would move to loose layouts, and he'd bring Tom Palmer back to do work. Now, and we get to see this Wonder Woman as a kid, and her struggling through things. We get a taste of what the book would have kind of been like, having the Greco-Roman kind of structures, and with Tom Palmer's finishing, which is a good look for the book. It would have been fun to see him stay on the book. I enjoyed this book. I enjoyed Byrne on Wonder Woman, and we would have Diana back, so it would have been interesting to see Wonder Girl, the new Wonder Girl, in the actual Donna Troy's outfit. And I guess that's about it. I've shown you all the pages. I was going to run backwards. If you look at it and you can figure out what is the tidbit that could make this book a little more rare than it is, right? Could be any one of these books, except for the X-Men book, because that's always going to be rare, right? But there's a tiny drawing of Shooter in here. There's a tiny drawing of Shooter there. Shooter at the con. This is one I definitely want, and I want the one that I'm talking about. But I think the Byrne pages I have aren't ones that are going to turn me into a millionaire, but I still have them, right? But they're favorites of mine. And first, but obviously the one everyone loves is this 9801. So there we go, a quick video on the original art that's at Heritage Auctions. Always thank them for having such great scans, so even if I miss out, I get a nice large scan that I can look at and get to pour over these pages. So, Spinner Rack is out.